Have you considered that your ancestors did not live happily ever after? Have you considered they might have had a divorce? Today we're talking about finding our ancestors' divorce records. Hi, I'm Lisa Lisson with Are You My Cousin? And I strive to help genealogy researchers lose the overwhelm and start finding your ancestors. Before we get started, if you don't mind, be sure and hit that subscribe button down in the bottom right hand corner so that you can be notified of new videos as they are posted here to the Are You My Cousin YouTube channel. While not as common an occurrence as it is today, our ancestors actually could divorce for a variety of reasons. Common reasons that an ancestor might have gone through or pursued a divorce would have been perhaps abuse, it could have been abandonment, could have been adultery, any of those type of things. But it absolutely could occur, not necessarily easily, but they could pursue a divorce if they felt they needed one. Now, first off, let's consider clues you might have found in your research that would indicate that you even need to look for a divorce record. That's one of the first questions you probably have, is how do you know if you should even pursue a divorce record? Well, there are some clues that you will find in other records as you do your other research. For instance, from the 1880 census forward, check the marital status record or marital status column, because if there is a D there, that indicates there's a divorce. And if you see that, then you want to pursue looking for a divorce record for that ancestor. Another clue might be if you find the marriage record for your ancestor and it shows previous marriages. They may indicate if there was a divorce or not, but you might want to pursue that previous marriage to determine if the spouse actually passed away or if that spouse is still living. If that previous spouse is still living, then you probably need to look for a divorce record there as well. Other clues might be children that are listed in a census record with a family that have a different last name. It's not conclusive that there was a divorce, but it could be an indication that you need to explore that a little bit more. Deed or land records that were executed by a femme sole or a married woman acting on her own, then you might perhaps want to look for a divorce record there. That can be an indication. She could have been a widow, but she could have also been a divorced woman. Now, where do you find your ancestors' divorce records? Now, this is going to actually vary quite a bit. It really depends on certainly the time period that you're researching, but also the location that you're researching. As with any type of record or event that occurred in your ancestor's life, it is imperative that you, as the genealogy researcher, understand the law and the customs that were in place at that time. I cannot stress that enough. You must understand the law and that custom. Depending on where your ancestor lived and what time period you're researching will impact where you search for that divorce record and how divorce might have been granted. Divorce records were typically recorded at the county court level or at the state legislative level. For example, in early 19th century North Carolina, divorces were granted by the General Assembly, which is the state legislative body. In colonial New England, they were typically handled at the county court level or at the civil court level. But still different in some of the Spanish colonies with large Catholic influences, then a dissolution of marriage was granted. So it's very important to really, as you can see, understand the custom of that time. So what I would encourage you to do, because divorce records are not the typical thing that we go after as genealogy researchers, especially not early on in our research, would be to talk to an archivist there at your state archives and ask them how to pursue a divorce record and where it might have been granted, at what government level it was granted or handled for that location and time period. Now, another great place to look for evidence of a ancestor's divorce is the newspaper. Mentioning of an ancestor's impending divorce might actually be found in the newspaper section under the legal section or under the court proceedings section as well. Now, if a couple had a particularly contentious divorce that was going on, then you might actually find a longer article on that divorce record. So while not the formal record, you can certainly get a lot of detail in those newspapers when they talk about the divorces. There you have it, guys. Unusual records to go after. We don't typically do that as often, but it is possible to find it is possible to find your ancestors' divorce records if they did indeed divorce. If you want to see some examples of divorce records or newspaper articles where they talk about divorces, feel free to click the link in the description below. That'll take you to the post on the Are You My Cousin website to where you can see those a little bit more detail. Have a great day. Before you go, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button down below, I'd appreciate it. That way you will be notified of any of the new videos as they come out here on the Are You My Cousin YouTube channel. Have a great day, guys. Bye.